Ever thought about whether the colors you see or the sounds you hear are the same for everyone else? The human experience is this wild mix of personal vibes and a shared reality, but what if I told you that a lot of what we pick up might be totally unique to us? This video dives deep into the mysteries of how we perceive stuff and beyond, digging into just how much we really get about the world around us, from the mysterious ocean depths to the endless corners of our own minds. Get ready to question everything you know as we explore the vast unknown. Think about the dress drama. Was it blue and black or white and gold? Or that whole Yanni versus Laurel thing? These viral moments show just how differently we can vibe with the same things. They hit on a big question: how can we be sure our senses are tuned the same way as everyone else's? Spoiler: we can't. Our senses are shaped by a ton of things, from the way our bodies are built to the situations we're in, making how we see the world super personal. But hey, it's not just our senses that are trippy. There's a whole world right here on Earth that's still a big mystery: the oceans. Even though they cover more than 70% of our planet, we've barely begun to understand what's down there. The deep sea is home to some seriously weird creatures that blow our minds, and there's so much we haven't mapped out yet. People even say the deep sea is like outer space, a last frontier on our own turf, packed with secrets just waiting to be uncovered. As we roll through this video, we'll dive into not just the limits of what our senses can pick up, but also the bigger mysteries of why we're here and what's out there in the universe. What's beyond the stars, or even deeper than the ocean floor? These are the questions that have kept us guessing for centuries and still light up our curiosity. By the end of this video, you might start wondering not just about what we know, but about all the stuff we don't, and maybe, just maybe, how much there still is to uncover. Understanding perception starts with realizing that our senses aren't perfect. Take sight, for instance. The human eye is a super complicated piece of tech, but it can only pick up a tiny slice of the electromagnetic spectrum, the stuff we call visible light. Within this narrow band, our brains do some crazy work, interpreting colors based on light frequency and intensity. But here's the kicker: two people could see the same wavelength of light in totally different ways. It could be because of their unique eye structure or even the cultural vibes they grew up with. This makes you wonder, do we all see the world in the same colors, or is everyone's view totally unique? Throw in mind-bending examples like the dress or the Yanni versus Laurel audio illusion, and things get even weirder. These viral hits showed us how people can experience the same image or sound in wildly different ways. What one person sees as blue and black, someone else might swear is white and gold. And this can even change for the same person depending on the time of day or the lighting. These phenomena reveal a deeper truth about how we perceive things. It's not just about passively taking in info, it's about how our brains actively piece together a version of reality based on what we've seen before, what we expect, and our own biases. The plot thickens when we think about how our senses all work together to shape our version of reality. Touch, taste, and smell are constantly teaming up with vision and hearing, giving us that full sensory experience we just call real life. But remember, each of these senses has its own limitations and can totally be tricked. Think about optical illusions or those wild altered states of consciousness, like synesthesia, where hearing a sound might make someone see colors. Stuff like this shows us that our sense of reality is way more flexible and subjective than we'd like to admit. At the end of the day, understanding perception is about recognizing its mysteries and its limits. We're only starting to figure out how we experience the world around us and how those experiences can differ, not just between different people but even within the same person at different times. This raises some big questions about reality itself. If our senses can be so easily misled or are so different from one person to another, can we really trust them to show us the true picture? The answer might be that we can't, at least not completely, and that realization pushes us to explore even more of the unknown. While we've mapped out a lot of the Earth's surface, the depths of our oceans are still one of the most unexplored territories out there. Even though oceans cover over 70% of our planet, more than 80% of the ocean floor is still a mystery. This massive, dark world is packed with creatures so strange and otherworldly that they make us question what we think we know about life. From glow-in-the-dark organisms that light up the deep to giant squids that have fueled myths and legends, the ocean is bursting with secrets. We've barely even started to uncover its mysteries, and every time we dive deeper, we find new species and weird geological features that blow our minds. One big reason the oceans are still so mysterious is how insanely hard it is to explore them. Unlike land, where you can just walk, drive, or fly around, exploring the ocean means you need some seriously tough gear that can handle extreme pressure, pitch darkness, and freezing temperatures. Even with high-tech stuff like ROVs, remotely operated vehicles, and submersibles, getting to the deepest parts of the ocean is a real challenge. Because of these limits, a lot of the ocean's biggest mysteries, like what's really at the bottom of the deepest trenches and the creatures that live down there, are still totally out of our reach. Every time we go down into the depths, it's a new adventure into the unknown, and each new discovery forces us to rethink what's possible on Earth. And then there's the coastline, something that seems simple but is actually super tricky to measure. This thing called the coastline paradox shows that the length of a coastline can change a lot depending on how you measure it. If you use a long ruler, you'll get a shorter number than if you use a tiny one. That's because coastlines are kinda like fractals, full of endless curves, inlets, and jagged edges that just keep getting more complicated the closer you look. This isn't just some math problem, it actually matters for mapping, navigation, and figuring out where things are in the world. Trying to pin down the length of a coastline shows us a bigger truth about our planet. The more we try to measure and understand it, the more complex it gets. This complexity isn't just in the physical stuff, it stretches into the biological and ecological systems that make life on Earth what it is. Just like we can't perfectly measure a coastline, we also can't fully understand the insanely intricate web of life in our oceans or how all these systems are connected to each other and the planet as a whole. Earth, with all its wild complexity, keeps reminding us that there's always more to learn, more to explore, and that our understanding is always just the beginning. The line between invention and discovery might seem obvious at first, but when you look closer, it gets pretty blurry. A discovery is usually about finding something that's already out there, like fire or gravity, while an invention is about creating something new, like the wheel or the internet. But what about fire, which we didn't create but figured out how to control? Or music, which feels like it's just a natural part of being human but actually involves creating new patterns of sound? These examples mess with our heads about what it means to invent or discover, showing how fluid human creativity really is. The whole invention versus discovery debate gets even more interesting when we think about using tools. For a long time, we thought tool use was what made humans special. But research shows that many animals are pretty clever with tools too. Chimps use sticks to fish out termites, and crows have been seen making hooks from twigs to snag insects from tree bark. These behaviors suggest that tool use isn't just a human thing, and the line between what humans and animals can do is way more blurred than we used to think. These findings lead us to a big question: what really makes us human? If other species can use tools, have emotions, and solve problems, what sets us apart? Some might say it's our ability for abstract thought, self-awareness, or language, but studies have shown many animals have some level of these skills too. Dolphins, for example, use a complex system of clicks and whistles to talk to each other, while elephants show behaviors that hint at empathy and self-awareness. These discoveries make us rethink the boundaries we've set between ourselves and the rest of the animal kingdom. At the end of the day, the question of what defines humanity is still wide open and always changing. As we learn more about other species and what they can do, we see that our uniqueness might not come down to one specific trait but a mix of many different things. Our urge to sort things into categories and make comparisons drives scientific discovery, but it also shows the limits of what we know. Just like with the mysteries of how we see the world or the unexplored depths of our oceans, the question of what makes us human keeps us curious and always searching for more. Consciousness and self-awareness are often thought of as the ultimate signs of intelligence, traditionally seen as unique to humans. But recent studies have shown that lots of animals demonstrate a surprising level of consciousness and self-awareness. For instance, species like dolphins, elephants, and great apes have passed the mirror test, which is used to check if they recognize themselves. These animals show behaviors that indicate they see themselves as separate beings, able to understand their own actions and think about their experiences. This raises some deep questions about what consciousness really is and challenges the idea that humans are the only ones who have it. Thinking about consciousness naturally leads us to another big mystery: what happens after we die? Near-death experiences, NDEs, have been reported by people from all over the world and often involve feelings of leaving the body, moving through a tunnel, or seeing a bright light. Despite tons of research, science still doesn't have a solid explanation for these experiences. Some theories say NDEs could be the brain's reaction to trauma or lack of oxygen, while others suggest they might be glimpses of an afterlife or a different state of existence. The true nature of these experiences is one of humanity's great mysteries, sparking both scientific research and spiritual thinking. And then there are the mysteries left behind by our ancestors that still puzzle archaeologists and historians. Take the construction of monumental structures like Stonehenge or the Great Pyramids of Egypt. Even after decades of study, we still don't fully understand how these ancient wonders were built or why. Some think these sites were aligned with the stars or had religious meanings, but the lack of solid evidence leaves a lot of room for guesswork and mystery. These archaeological puzzles challenge our understanding of ancient civilizations and remind us of how much we still don't know about our own past. The common thread in all these mysteries is our limited grasp of the world and the many unanswered questions that keep us curious. From the consciousness of animals to the possibility of an afterlife and the unsolved secrets of ancient civilizations, these topics invite us to keep exploring and asking questions. Each mystery is a reminder of how vast the unknown is and how much we love to seek answers. As we dig deeper into these puzzles, we learn not only more about the world but also about ourselves and the endless curiosity that makes us human. As we've journeyed through the mysteries of perception, the unexplored depths of our oceans, the blurred lines between human and animal thinking, and the puzzling artifacts of ancient civilizations, one thing stands out: there's way more that we don't know than we do. Our understanding of the world, and ourselves, is always changing, driven by that itch to know more and explore what's out there. Every time we think we've got it figured out, new questions pop up, showing us just how much is still out there waiting to be discovered. This is both a humbling and thrilling thought, reminding us that the quest for knowledge is a journey with no finish line. The vastness of the unknown can feel overwhelming, but it's also what makes life so exciting. The mysteries we stumble upon, from the ocean's depths to the farthest corners of space, from the complexities of our minds to the secrets of what might come after life, are what keep us hungry to learn, explore, and grow. These unanswered questions push us to break new ground in science, philosophy, and how we see the world. They push us to look at things differently and challenge what we think we know, giving us a deeper appreciation for just how intricate and mind-blowing existence is. So, where does that leave us? It leaves us with a sense of wonder and the realization that searching for answers is just as important as finding them. By embracing the unknown, we open ourselves up to a world full of endless possibilities and a future brimming with discovery. Whether it's questioning what reality really is, diving into the mysteries of our planet, or thinking about the idea of consciousness beyond just ourselves, every step we take gets us closer to unraveling the mysteries that make up our world. If you've enjoyed diving into the unknown with us, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button to stay in the loop for more videos. See you there.